Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We are going to be having a guest speaker tonight, and we're going to be talking about mindset and motivation. That's what we're going to be talking about. So, yes, welcome. If you know anyone that is looking forward to joining the live, then please feel free to join the live. Hi, Alison. How are you? Yes, so we're just going to just wait for our guest speaker to arrive. I thought I'd just come on a slightly earlier as I always do. But welcome. How is everyone doing? Please let me know where you're from. Hi, Just Empress. How are you? Good. Just Empress is one of our community ambassadors. Hi, Claire. Claire's in the house as well. Another community ambassador. We're very fortunate, the menopause wellness community. We have community ambassadors. You know, we have Just Empress, Claire, Samantha, Lulu, Poetic Angel. I think that's the 5, yeah. Lulu, Claire, Samantha, Poetic Angel, and Just Empress. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Buttercup Bakers. How are you? Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope you're all doing well. I popped on for about an hour a bit earlier on today because I had some spare time. And I thought I'd just pop on to see how everyone is and what everyone was doing. And just to also talk about the book, and also reminder that we are going to be having our very first, I'm so excited, very first face-to-face Embracing Menopause event. So that's what I popped on earlier on today. Lani, hi, welcome. Lani, are you new to the community? Welcome. Do let us know if you are new. Our community ambassadors will make you feel very welcome. Our community ambassadors are in the house this evening. I've seen 2 already. I've seen Just Empress and I've also seen Claire. So they will make you feel welcome. But we are going to be having our guest speaker this evening. We're going to be having Ezra. And Ezra, the voice of reason, we are going to be talking about mindset and motivation. So do let everyone know. Still got time to come in. We're expecting Ezra for 8 o'clock. So once he comes, we can just bring him up to the stage, welcome him, and then we can have a discussion. Thank you for the likes. So yeah, it was really good. We was talking about today as well about, I know we're talking about mindset this evening, but we're talking about choosing you. At what point in life, what will it take for you to choose you? Really important question. Been talking about this for a while now. I don't know, put it in the comments. What will it take to choose you? Sometimes in life that we do so many things for so many people, and we sometimes forget about ourselves. And at some point in life, we need to stop and take stock and actually choose ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with choosing yourself. Absolutely nothing wrong with choosing yourself. Yeah, so, how is everyone? Do let me know. Anyone new to the community, welcome. Welcome to the Menopause Wellness community. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Jackie. I'm a menopause wellness practitioner, as well as a menopause nutrition and weight loss management practitioner. So let me see. Hi, user 922. I'm suffering from high blood pressure in my menopause. Sorry to hear that. Really sorry to hear that. Have you seen a GP? I would always refer you to just suggest that you see a GP first and foremost. High blood pressure is not a good thing to be experiencing. So definitely go and see your GP. User 456. Welcome. How are you? Welcome. Okay, yes. What has your GP suggested? Welcome everyone this evening. We are waiting for our guest speaker, and we're going to then start this discussion. I will take questions as well. I'm on medication. Okay. And even if you're on medication, I would suggest, if you're still concerned about your blood pressure and it's not changing, then go back and speak to your GP. I was speaking earlier on to people that are on the live and just saying that why do we wait until, when we have symptoms, when we're experiencing symptoms and signs and things like that, we just leave it and think, oh, things will get better. And actually, our body gives us signals, symptoms. We experience them for a reason. So it's our body's way of telling us things. Something's not right. Something's not quite right with you. And I think we need to stop sometimes and listen to what our body's telling us. Struggling to accept HRT may be a solution. Struggling to accept. So user 456, are you just started taking HRT? If you are struggling with it, again, I would suggest to go back to your GP and have a chat with your GP about it. Jot down what is it that you're struggling with. Thank you. Ezra's here. Ezra is in the house. Hi, Ezra. Let me just invite you up. Thank you for the gifts. Okay, let me just see. Invite. Here we go. I've sent an invite to you. Hello, Ezra.
Hey, greetings, greetings, greetings. Let me put my camera on.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm really well.
Good,
Great to
good.
see you. Thank you for taking the time out, and thank you for joining. Coming along as a guest speaker to the community. And
You're
I
more than
speak for
welcome.
everyone in the community. We are absolutely happy to have you here.
Thank
Um,
you.
how have you been?
Oh, this weekend has been so busy, man. So busy. Yesterday, all day from about 10:30 to about 5, just sorting out the house, stripping the walls, preparing it because we're going to be doing decorating.
Oh,
So it's that season of just, everywhere's a mess and just
yeah.
tidying. And so, yeah. And then today, was doing well. My cousin was doing it more. I was working on a package because I'm going to be delivering a new package next week to an organization.
Yeah.
So I was
Yes.
working on that today. Got about 2/3 through that. So yeah.
Okay, but think of the just end result, right?
Oh no,
Think of the end
absolutely,
result.
absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good
Absolutely.
stuff.
Good, good, good. Well, you know what? I always like our guest speakers to introduce themselves, just in case I just miss some important information out. So just tell everyone, we're going to welcome you to the community. Absolutely. We're grateful for you being here. Um, just tell us a little bit about you and the Ezra Voice of Reason. A bit about
Okay,
you.
cool. Yeah. So my name is Ezra. I go by the name Voice of Reason. And that's because with the things I do, I bring reason to people and understanding and enlightenment. So, in terms of work, I work for a charity that supports people around substance misuse. So, my particular role is well-being and leadership development manager. So, I do various things within that capacity, coaching. I oversee the reverse mentoring program. I lead on delivering different trainings on leadership, on well-being, on a whole range of different things. And then I also oversee the well-being strategy for about 115 staff, about 10 different teams.
Wow.
Then for
Wow.
my business, so for my business, which is Edifying Answers, I am the founder and director of that. So, Edifying Answers is a training consultancy that empowers people to unlock insight. And so, I have about 30 different training packages that I can deliver. I deliver it to different organizations, and
Yeah.
I also do one to one coaching as part of that.
Wow. I remember when I first came across you. I know I met you through the oh God, I can't even
Andrew.
remember, but yeah.
Andrew.
And just watching your platform and watching your clips and things like that, so inspiring. And it's like, yeah,
Thank
we
you.
have to have you in the community, we have to have you in the community. Let's just get into this mindset and motivation. So,
Yes.
thinking about it is how can someone shift their mindset when they feel stuck in a negative cycle? Because a lot of the time we do feel that sometimes, and that's normal to feel like that, right?
Absolutely.
How can how can they shift that negative cycle?
Okay, so I'm going to look at it from a few different perspectives. But before I do go into it, I loved what you said. It
Mm.
is okay to
Yes.
go through that. That's what being human is all about. We're human beings, not human doings.
Yeah.
So, in terms of different perspectives, so when we look at this from a psychological perspective,
Mm,
is the first thing about that is awareness.
yes.
So, being able to recognize when those negative thought patterns are coming
Mm,
and to have that recognition without judgment.
yeah.
That's really key and that's really important. A lot of the time, people just think that it is normal and okay to constantly have these negative thoughts going on in your head
Mm,
and accepting that that's just the way it is.
yeah.
And so being aware of this and acknowledging and recognizing when they come,
Mm,
but then also to recognize that without judgment is essential. And so things like mindfulness and journaling are really good tools to help you to start to identify what those triggers are, when they're coming, and how you feel about
yeah.
those thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second thing on this area of the psychological perspective is cognitive reframing.
Mm-hmm.
So once you are doing the stuff to help you to recognize when they're coming and you know what are the triggers, is then how do we manage that? Because we don't want to just continuously have them always coming. So
Yeah.
the reframing is about how do you translate those negative thoughts into positive ones? And sometimes it's a simple question of asking, is this thought true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day,
That's a lot.
and 90% of those thoughts are rumination,
Mm,
right? And social scientists have proven that up to 70% of those thoughts for the majority of people are negative. So
wow.
we have a negative bias.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
a negative bias, right? And that goes back to how we were actually created in terms of the oldest part of the brain.
Yeah.
The brainstem is basically, it scans for danger to keep us alive.
Yeah.
So we have this negative bias to look out for danger, but
Mm,
sometimes it can be going in overdrive for certain individuals. And so it's important to be aware of that and then reframe it.
yeah.
It's sometimes it's so easy to think about the negative thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we could have nine great things happen to us, and one negative thing comes, and that overrides all of those positive things,
That
right?
is
So it's
so
in,
true.
yeah,
That is so true. And I think that, I was just saying this afternoon when I jumped on a impromptu live that why do we always, when we achieve things, it may be a tiny little thing that we achieve. We don't stop to appreciate and give ourselves celebrate enough. And like you said, 70% of negative thoughts, that's high, and yes, if you have 6 wins for the day and that one negative thing, you choose to focus on the negative. And
yeah.
that's yeah, that's not good, is it? Not good
It's
at all.
programming. The
Yeah.
thing is, right? The
Mm,
way how I like to explain to people is that every thought that we think is literally a rep
yeah.
because
Yeah.
the mind is a muscle,
That is very
right?
true.
So if you go to the gym,
Mm,
and I know you go to the gym, so I'm
I
using this
do.
analogy, right? If you go to the gym and
Yeah.
you work your biceps every day for 5 months and only your biceps, right? You might have arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but your legs are going to be thin, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you're constantly thinking
Mm,
thoughts of anxiety, you're training your muscle in anxiety. So you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles of anxiety.
yeah. I hear
But
you.
confidence or gratitude might be very weak.
Yeah. I hear
And so
you.
then we wonder, why is it then that we can't lift? Because we
Yeah.
haven't built those muscles. And
Yeah.
so whatever you are doing, you're training yourself. That's why I always say to people, the mind is the battlefield.
Yeah, it's almost like, anyway, you said reframing, and when you say reframing to me, I kind of start thinking about the NLP, the neuro linguistic programming,
Yeah.
just the way we look at things, a different approach to. And you're very right, I'm hoping that a lot of people, listening in, if they're not reframing, they can start thinking about that as well. What role does self talk play in maintaining motivation then?
Before we go there, one
Yeah.
other thing, because I only spoke on one perspective.
Okay, sorry. I'm jumping the gun there.
So I'll share one more. I'll share
Go
one
on.
more perspective, right? And that is
Share as many as
neuroscience.
you need to, please.
Okay, cool. Because I just how long have we got? That's why.
We've got an hour. We've got an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
So yeah. So when we're looking at it from a neuroscience perspective, right?
Yeah,
The brain is able to rewire itself.
absolutely.
And this is a blessing because
Mm,
if someone is listening to this stuff right now and thinking, oh my God, I'm always thinking negative and, I always say negative stuff about myself. I can't stop ruminating. Like, that's not a death sentence. This is not the end of the race, right?
yeah,
So, neuroscience tells us that we are able to rewire our brain.
yeah,
And so, what we can do is if we start to think different, talk differently and act differently, we can actually rewire our brain to think in a different process, to
yeah.
have a different pattern of thought, to operate from a different perspective, and to see opportunities rather than threats. So that's the good thing. So when we are practicing things like gratitude, positive affirmations, meditation, all of these things are helping to create neural pathways that actually serve us rather than afflict us.
I love that because I'm always saying, be mindful about what you speak into the universe. Be mindful because once it's out there, it's like saying, "Oh, I'm broke. I'm always broke." You are
Yeah,
now speaking that into your life.
yeah.
I truly do. I truly believe on that, and I hold to that. That we need to be mindful of, and how we speak about ourselves as well.
Yeah. Well, there is research to back that. So a book that I always quote to people whenever I'm doing training and stuff like that is
Yeah.
Words That Change the Brain,
Wow. Okay.
and it's by a neuroscientist and a medical director. And there's one particular part, and everything they say they've got research to back it. But one of the things they say is that words have the power to actually change your gene's expression.
Yeah.
Whether positive or negative words, they actually change your genes expression.
Mm.
And the more that you are hearing, talking about, or reflecting on words, whether they're for the positive or negative, they change your perspective of how you even see things.
You know what? I don't feel we realize sometimes that and appreciate just how powerful our minds are.
Yeah,
Absolutely, we do not appreciate how powerful our minds are.
absolutely. They're the greatest things ever created. Like we don't even know. We've not even tapped into. I mean, they're still trying to make computers to
Mm,
match our brains.
wow.
They're not even near it. So when you look at a computer and you think, oh my God, this is so high tech, they haven't even come a fraction to the capacity of our minds.
Yeah, yeah. Just know that reframing. I'm going to remember that. I mean, I'm very much like I would want to always speak positivity anyway into my life, into other people's life. So it's about, I suppose you can start doing something like that and then just it becomes second nature then, right?
Yes. So the research shows it takes 66 days to
Wow,
form a
okay.
habit.
66 days to form a habit.
Yes. So if you're consistently doing something for 66 days, from that period on, it goes into our subconscious mind. So
Mm,
I'm not sure if people understand about the subconscious mind, but the subconscious mind is active. Research says between 90 to 95% of the time. We're only 5 to 10% of the time using our conscious awareness, right?
mm,
So that means that most of the time we're operating out of an algorithm because
mm.
things like our values, things like our habits, things like our deep emotions, they're all stored in our subconscious mind.
Yes. Yeah. The mind's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I feel that we don't actually use, I can't remember how much percentage there was. The research shows that we actually only use so much percentage of our brain.
So
Um,
yeah, so with that, what that is true. So they
mm,
say we only use like 20% of our
mm,
brain, but it's not. It's like just this 20%. It means at any time,
mm, mm,
and the reason for that is because the brain, even though it weighs 20% of our body weight,
Mm,
it takes up so much energy,
yeah, yeah,
right? 2%, sorry, not 20. It weighs 2% of our body weight, but it takes up 20% of our energy.
yeah,
So the brain naturally wants to find ways to reduce the amount of energy it's taken up.
yeah.
This is why we form habits.
Okay,
Habits are well traveled pathways so that the brain no longer has to think about it and does it automatically.
that makes
And
sense.
so, yeah, so it's a way of actually enabling us to not use up all of our energy.
Yeah,
This is why when you're learning something new or you're doing a new course, why you feel so tired, isn't it? But you're not doing anything physically,
yeah,
but because it's draining all of your energy because you're learning new things.
yeah.
And so the brain is always trying to find a shortcut. And that's why after you've been doing it for 66 days, it goes, oh, okay, I got it now. Right. You don't have to think about this.
Mm,
Because most people don't realize every second we take in about 40 to 60,000 bits of data through our five senses, and consciously about 6 to 7,000.
that's a lot of data.
Right. And
Okay.
that is why a lot of the time people don't realize all what's going on. So, for example, when we're just scrolling through social media and we're just
Mm,
looking at video, we're not realizing the impact that that's having on us.
yeah,
And then you might be later on in the day and just feel, why do I feel like this? Because you haven't had time to process all of that information.
yeah, yeah. It makes sense. It makes so much sense. I mean, just taking in, just you saying that, how much information we're actually taking through our senses, it's just, so
Yeah.
it's overwhelming to hear that, just how
Yeah.
much, and how we don't actually give ourselves time sometimes to digest the information we're taking in a lot of the time, you
Absolutely.
know. And on top of that, people communicating during that time as well. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely overwhelming. So going back to the question, if I may,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
uh, what roles does self-talk play in maintaining motivation?
Okay. So there's a few things that we can talk about, Phyllis. So
Mm,
it's important to recognize self-talk is inner dialogue. It's
mm,
internal dialogue that we have with ourselves.
yeah,
Now, it depends on what type of dialogue that is. Is it your
mm,
inner counselor or is it your inner critic?
yeah, I hear that.
Right? So,
Different.
positive self talk can be very empowering,
Yeah.
right? And that can be done through like affirmations, mantras, like all of those things that you say to yourself.
Mm,
When you get up, what do you say to you? And the thing that I say to people is if you was able to
mm,
take all of the things you say to yourself and implant it into someone else
yeah.
and then have that person be your best friend, would you like them as your best friend?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Absolutely a very good question. I
Because that
mean,
that really faces you with who you are.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, for me, if you ask me that question, honestly, I would answer that and say yes, because I have that mindset and I speak positivity into my life as well as others' lives. And actually, if you got negative energy, you're not my person.
Right,
you
right.
know so
And
I've gone through that process, so yeah, I would say yes, but it'd be interesting to know what other people will answer you know
absolutely. And I ask people this all the time, and
yeah.
their silence speaks 1,000 words to me.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, I
And I
imagine.
don't do it. I don't do it to make people feel small or to belittle them. I do it because that's sometimes the first time that they look at the truth,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because it's asked in such a way that you can't scapegoat it. You can't get out of it. Like it
Mm,
hits you, and you're like, well, actually, no, I wouldn't really like. I wouldn't really like someone like that talking to me. And it's like, okay, so then do that work on you.
yeah,
Become your best friend.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I was saying again. things as you're speaking, things are just coming up for me, and it's like, you know, we a lot of the time we look for validation, right? And
Yes,
don't get me wrong, validation is absolutely nice, from somebody else. However, there is such a thing as self-validation.
absolutely,
We can absolutely give ourselves self-validation.
absolutely.
Yes, it's nice to be loved by someone, but we can love ourselves. You know, you're right, it is. There's a lot going on there that we can actually do ourselves as well.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
was there
always,
Go on,
oh, sorry,
sorry. Go on, you go.
I was gonna say, and one of the things that I often say to people is like, no man or woman is an island, right? So we can't do it all by ourselves. That's true.
I haven't heard
But
that
the
saying for a while.
yeah, but the other thing that I always say to people as well is you should be the foundation and someone should be the icing on the cake. So you shouldn't
Mm,
need someone else to tell you something for you to see that about yourself. But you
yes.
should see it about yourself. And when someone else gives you that compliment or says something, it validates what you already know within you.
Absolutely. I hear that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. And it goes back to what I was saying a few weeks ago. In order for you to, yes, it's nice to be loved. In order for someone to love you the way you would like them to love you, need to know how to love yourself in order
Absolutely.
to let them know what your love needs are. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
world is always looking to you and to me to see how they should treat you by how you treat yourself.
Absolutely. So therefore, if you're saying negative things about yourself, everyone else will say the same thing, right? Or similar
Yeah,
things.
but and don't get me wrong, there'll be some people who will still say nice things about you, but the majority of people, they're
Mm,
looking at the standard of how you treat yourself to know how they should treat you.
absolutely. That is true. That is very true. I totally agree with you. I don't know who else is agreeing with Ezra here, but pop it in the chat. If you're agreeing with Ezra, say you agree. There's nothing wrong with agreeing. I absolutely agree with Ezra completely. Um, I didn't actually ask you at the beginning, Ezra. Apologies. If you wanted to take questions during or after.
Yeah, please do. Look, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that's
Just
that's fine
Empress
with me. If
saying,
anyone's got any questions or want me
okay.
to clarify something I've said, or
Yeah.
yeah, please take opportunity of this because I'm
Great.
not here every time. So
Yeah,
take this
definitely.
opportunity.
We're going to take full advantage of Ezra today. Full advantage. But just Empress is saying she agrees, so yeah, definitely. So in terms of the self-talk, we kind of covered that. So how can people build resilience when life throws unexpected challenges their way? Because life will throw unexpected challenges. We
Yeah,
cannot determine what is going to happen tomorrow, right? We
no.
hope what we would like to happen tomorrow, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. So how can I then build resilience when a curveball gets thrown in my way?
Yeah, okay. So the good thing about this is there's lots of different things that we can all do, right? So I'm going to
Mm.
name a few of them. So the first one is emotional awareness,
Hmm.
right? So being able to recognize and accept your feelings rather than trying to suppress them.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah? Because what people don't realize is emotions never die.
Yeah.
If you bury them alive, they're going to come up like a volcano, often in times and situations when you don't want them to come up. And it often ends up being the person who didn't deserve it that gets the brunt of that emotion,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so being able to recognize them is very important because emotions are not bad and they're not good.
Yeah.
They just are. And they're there to help us to understand on a deeper level what is going on inside of us. So
Mm.
sometimes when someone says something to you, you go, it didn't bother me. Your emotion is there to let you know it really did.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hear that. I
Yeah.
hear that.
So the more that you become aware of them, they tap into a deeper part of you that helps you to be more aware.
Mm.
So if you're around a particular individual and then you feel anxiety or insecure, and that
Mm.
happens a lot of the time, that's telling you a message. That's
Yeah.
giving you insight. And so the question is, is that person the right person for you to be around?
Yeah, yeah,
And there might be someone else who, whenever you're around them, you feel empowered, you feel like you can do anything.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
that's an enlightenment to let you know I want to be around that person more.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Claire is actually saying, I don't know if you can see these comments. I completely agree with that. I buried grief for so long, and one day it just came with a vengeance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, we do. And I think it's good to know, or we need to hold on to the fact that emotions are normal.
Yeah,
You know, it's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
these are our emotions.
yeah. They're a part of us. And the other thing that I often say to people is that there is no such thing as a positive or a negative emotion. Now, I
Mm,
understand why people label them that way to give people some insight, but
yeah,
sometimes people use that wrongly. So, let me give you an example, and I always use this to help people to realize
yeah,
anger is not inherently bad, right? Martin Luther King was angry with the oppression of his people, but he did peaceful protests out of that anger.
yes.
On the other side of things, if someone is overjoyed and happy at your downfall or your loss, that's
Mm,
not a good thing.
yeah,
So it's never about it being good or bad or positive or negative. It's how are we using that emotion and is it appropriate for the situation?
absolutely. That's like saying pick your battles, right?
Yeah,
Your battles.
yeah,
Sometimes something happens, and you know what? This is not worth my energy. I'm not even going to respond to it because it's not worth my energy or my time.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's yeah, so true. Um,
So
you
that was the
know,
first one. That was the
yeah,
first one.
yeah,
Right? So we're looking at different ways we can build resilience because I want people to be resilient and make sure you're taking notes of this stuff.
absolutely. You're hearing everyone take notes, right? Take notes.
The second one is cognitive flexibility,
Mm.
right? So talking about reframing setbacks as opportunities for growth.
Oh,
You,
I love that.
yeah,
I love
failure does
that.
not mean final.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's how you look at things. Most times in life, it's not the event itself that causes us the most harm and danger. It is how we constantly think about, ruminate, and feel about the event afterwards. We relive the failure every single day when it was an event that could have happened 1 month, 1 year, 10 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
And so if you look at it as a growth opportunity, something that you're learning to develop, and this is the difference between people who are successful and people who are not. The
Mm-hmm.
people who are successful know that failure is a precursor to success.
Absolutely.
The people who are not successful are those who fail and then give up because they're saying, oh my God, I failed.
That is true. That is true. I always say mistakes are life lessons.
Of course.
When you make a mistake, it's a life lesson, right? You have to hold on
Absolutely.
to it and embrace it. It's a life lesson.
Now, this is what I always tell people
Mm,
because, and this is why I'm a mindset coach, right? Because I deal with the mind, right? But this is
mm.
what I always tell people every single one of us failed in every single thing that we've done in life. There is not one thing that any single person has done perfect first time. And I can just give you an example. I'm going to roll off 10 things, right?
Yeah,
Whether it's reading, running, walking, swimming, math, science, singing, whatever it is, dancing, nothing we did right first time.
you're right.
So why at 30, 40, 50 are we so worried about doing what we've always done for every area of our life?
That is true. That is true. Even walking as a baby, right? Didn't get it right first
Everything.
time. Everything.
Everything. And just imagine if we had, see, this is one thing that I often say to people we need to get back the resilience we had when we were children.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're
So
right.
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, right? As children, right, we would naturally want to try and jump puddles, right? If we went to the park and stuff like that. To our parents' horror, but we love to do that, right?
Yeah.
So we see the first puddle. We tried to jump over it. We fell miserably. We jumped right into it. And then
Mm,
what do we do? Go, oh, okay. Go next one. Right, let's do it again. Like it's resilience.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't allow failure to stop us
Mm,
until life started to teach us that failure means, that you are a failure, right? But at that point, we would have jumped over 10, 20, 30 different ones in one day
mm,
without any form of looking down at ourselves or saying that I'm a failure. And
yeah.
what happens is, as we get older, we get indoctrinated with these fears that
Mm,
now makes us stop after the first hurdle.
yeah. Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, Clara said, Ezra, this is brilliant. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, we're
Thank you.
listening to Ezra right now, and I'm telling you, he's speaking some truths here. Yeah. And I really hope that people can stop and actually take stock of what you're saying and utilize your words in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely utilize their words in their lives, you know. Any other in terms of the building resilience?
Yes, 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 yes. I've got a few more to go. Right. The next
Okay,
one is
good.
self compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Self compassion.
Yes.
To treat yourself with kindness during tough times as you would a friend. When you make a mistake, give yourself the same response you would for your best friend.
Mm,
And so often we're so hard on ourselves. We're so, we talk so badly about ourselves. We cast ourselves down. We speak death over ourselves because we have life and death in the power of the tongue.
mm.
And we would never do that to our best friend. We would never do that to our partner. But we do it to ourselves. And so self compassion is about having an inside job of loving you.
Yeah, I'm taking a moment here because I'm telling you, everything you're saying, it's like I've just hearing myself repeating it. We say it so
Mm,
many times in the community, you know, self-compassion, give yourself compassion, give yourself grace.
yeah,
It's so important.
yeah,
Yeah, it's going back to what you said earlier on about if we achieve five things and we, have a negative experience, we tend to forget about those five things that we've just achieved and focus on the
absolutely.
negative. Why do we do that? Why exactly do we do that? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's the other thing about this is that how the subconscious mind, after the first 7 years of our life, right? Because in those first 7 years, we are in theta mode. So we're in
Mm,
hypnosis, right? So we are all indoctrinated in those first 7 years of our life. We have no say to what we are going to be experiencing by our parents or whoever brought us up. So we get
yeah,
that indoctrination, right?
yeah.
But after those first 7 years, we can program our subconscious mind in two ways. One is repetition, which we already looked at, and that's why we
Mhm.
form habits. The other one is by the emotional currency that we experience.
Right.
So, anytime you have a strong emotion, whether
Hmm.
that's anger or joy, whether that's bitterness or gratitude, it programs our subconscious mind. And the higher the intensity and the more that we have that, the subconscious mind, which does not discriminate,
Hmm.
says, oh, this is important to Ezra. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's anxiety or whether it's joy. And so it says, right, I need to bring up more things to his attention that will make him have this response again.
Mm,
So
definitely.
depending on this is why I say your thoughts matter, because depending of the conditioning and the program you create, your subconscious mind is going to act in response to that frequency.
Yeah, I
So
hear.
some people can get anxious over very small things because your subconscious mind is framing it
Mm-hmm.
to give you that response because it believes you like that.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
same way as if someone who constantly sees themselves as capable and able, whenever something comes up, their subconscious mind is going to frame it in a way that says that they can do it.
yeah,
So they will be bold in doing things that someone else would never try to do because their subconscious mind has been programmed to see it that way.
yeah. Listen, Clara said, Jackie, I wish I had Ezra on speed dial. Listen, if you're finding it of value, follow Ezra. Follow Ezra. I always have a look at, when you post something. It's just that additional inspiration for me, you know? Yeah, follow Ezra, I'm telling you. You know, it's he's on here. But I'll before he goes, we're going to capture that moment so we can get how you can follow him, and he'll tell us all about that as well. Sorry, Ezra, I butted into your. So
No,
you're
that's
talking
fine. That's
about, yeah,
fine. So
having resilience.
the other thing is about the stress response.
Mm,
Yeah. So stress is is not inherently bad. So
mm,
there's a stress curve, right? And I want people to be aware of this. There is a stress curve. So when you have nothing going on in your life, right? We're bored, isn't it?
yeah.
Right? And so it's that's the lowest point. When we have certain stresses going on, so whether you got an exam coming up, so you need to revise for it, or you're going for an interview, you need to prep for it. We need some level of stress to make us to operate at an optimal level, right? So
Yeah.
when you have some stress, it makes you focus, it makes you engaged, right? And so you're on point. When
Mm,
that stress becomes too high or it happens for too long, that's when burnout comes,
yeah.
right? So it's important to understand that stress isn't inherently bad,
Yeah.
right? But it is how we learn to manage those stresses that is really important. So
Absolutely.
things like mindfulness, things like deep breathing, yeah, things
Mm,
like meditation, they can all help to lower your stress level, right?
mm,
And to help you to manage things better. Because remember, whatever we repeatedly do, we program the brain to operate out of.
yeah. Yeah. It's it's just, you said earlier on about it takes 66 days to
Yeah, yeah,
um it's like going back to learning and unlearning.
absolutely.
Yeah, I just feel that, and there's nothing wrong with unlearning if you know what you've learned isn't working for you.
Yes. Yes. And so there's actually three stages of learning.
Mm, mm,
There's learning, there's unlearning, and then there's relearning.
mm,
And so what needs to happen is whenever we realize we have an outdated belief system,
mm.
we need to upgrade it, just like we do computers.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
And if so life is a journey of becoming.
Mm,
So if you are continuously growing, there should always come a season where we have outdated belief systems because we've outgrown them.
yeah.
So to have that is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. When you don't have that, that's actually the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Understand.
things I do now and think now that I wasn't thinking a year ago.
Mm, yeah.
And that's a good thing because I should be evolving. I should be adapting and changing. As I learn, read, understand, and go through experiences, I
Yeah.
should upgrade because now I'm more informed.
Yeah. Yeah. Car 71 has just said, made me chuckle. I'm a 1980s computer. Ezra has just said to upgrade.
Ah.
So, Car 71, you just made me laugh.
Uh,
Ezra said that you can upgrade. So go and look at upgrading, right?
yeah, you can upgrade, man. You might, when you do it, the computer might restart 20 times, but you know what I mean? Don't worry, man.
That made me chuckle. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I know we are talking about building resilience, and I suppose, when we build resilience, you're talking about upgrade and relearning, and it's okay to do that, but we've got to have to want to do that, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's always an inside job.
Yeah.
It's always, and this is something that I often say to people.
Mm.
You get to keep what you fight for.
Listen, you're just chatting some powerful words today. Some power is coming through the screens. Okay. So can you say that again, please, Ezra?
Yes, yes. And what I mean by that, before I say it again, let me explain to people so when I say it, you will understand it. What I'm talking about is when I'm talking to someone and I'm giving them suggestions or I'm trying to support them, trying to help them, and they keep giving me reasons and justifications for why they're staying the same, I
Mm,
say to them, whatever you fight for, you get to keep.
yeah. Yes. I'm telling you. Yeah. You have to want it, don't you?
You have to want it.
And you know, more importantly, you have to want it, but you also have to feel that you deserve it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you know you want something and you then turn around and think, I don't deserve this, you know.
See, now you've taken it to a different level.
Oh my goodness me. Taking it there, taking it there.
Now, this is something I often tell people. All behavior is belief driven.
That is true, you know.
All behavior is belief driven. And how you can know, every single one of you listening to this, whether you're on the page or on the For You page, you know it by this. When it is something that you believe that you do it boldly. You don't care who's in the room, what's going on, and
Yeah,
you just do it because it's you.
yeah.
When you doubt and don't believe that you can do it, you hesitate, you procrastinate, even if it's asking a question or doing something because you do not believe
Mm-hmm.
that you should ask it, or you believe that you will look inferior if you ask that question.
Yeah.
All behavior is belief driven, and that's how you can know where you're at in any situation.
Mm, absolutely true. Absolutely true. And sometimes you can tell, I'm just going back to when I deliver training and I ask if anyone's got any questions, or you can see sometimes people that they want to ask a question, or even when I
Yes,
ask a question as a trainer, people like they say it's so low, and it's like, what say it? You know, be confident in what you're saying because you know the answer, but they don't want to say it just in case to them it comes out wrong.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow, you know, obviously we've talked about the building resilience, and you've thrown some heavy stones tonight, I'm telling you, some heavy gems, right? And it's like we're in the menopause wellness community. So
Mm,
menopause can often bring physical and emotional changes. As you was on our um
yeah,
men and menopause night, right? And you spoke again as well, which
yeah.
we very much appreciate it. So because menopause can often bring physical and emotional changes, how can mindset help in navigating such life transitions?
Okay. So I'm going to share a couple of things on this one because I know this will be a particular question that's going to be of interest for your tribe and group. So
Mm,
the first thing is about reframing the experience, right? And
mhm,
reframing the experience doesn't minimize it because sometimes people think when they're reframing something, and I'm going to give you an example in a minute, but I'm just setting up the scene. But
okay.
sometimes people think that it's minimizing it. So viewing menopause as a natural life transition
Hmm.
can have a real big impact on how you deal with it rather than looking at it as a loss or an illness, because that will reduce the amount of anxiety that you experience. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be fine.
Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that it isn't a challenge. Of course, it's a massive challenge. Of course,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
But it's just like giving birth.
Hmm.
Anyone who is a parent knows giving birth is one of the most difficult things. I've witnessed it twice,
Yeah,
you know, and just from what I witnessed, I knew how hard it is, let alone the woman going through it.
yeah, yeah.
But because of how they view it, a woman will go back and still have another baby, knowing that it's going to be the hardest thing they could do. Why? Because of how they view it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So how you view something has a significant impact on how you manage it.
yeah.
And if you look at it as this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, if you look at it as I've lost all of this stuff, then it has much more of an impact on you.
Mm, yeah.
And we know this, and let me tell you why, the science behind how we know this. So I don't know if people are aware of the placebo effect, right? And the nocebo effect. Now, the placebo effect is basically when they will give people a sugar pill, but
Hmm.
they say that is actually the medication.
Yeah.
And when they've done double blind studies around this, so the person didn't know, they
Mm,
actually really believed it was the medication. They healed themselves because when they were taking that sugar pill, they believed it was the medication. I hope you understand what I'm
mm,
saying. It was a sugar pill, But because they believed it was the medication, they healed themselves. Because sugar pills don't heal you.
Do you know, sorry, do you know, because I remember a while back, this was our share. As you're saying that, you're right. That sugar pill, someone thought it was medication. So in their
Yes.
mind, it's healing them. That's like giving someone some water and telling them that it's wine. And then they
Right.
start being a bit tipsy.
Right.
Yeah.
And this has been proven for over 100 years in the medical field. So this is not just airy fairy. You can research this, right?
Right.
But remember now, there's no up with down. There's no left without right. There's no darkness without light. So if we got the placebo, there's the opposite side of that. And that's the nocebo effect. And that
Mm,
is when you can make yourself sick by the thoughts that you are thinking about yourself.
you see
That's
that?
why they say the beginning of every disease starts with a dis-ease in the mind, because what you think about, you bring about. And so it's so important that if you were looking at it and framing, whether it's menopause, whether it's a loss, whatever it is, from a negative perspective, you enhance the impacts that it has on you.
You see that? You see that, community? You see that? Okay. Okay. Look, let me just calm down. Because I'm telling you, you're right. And this is the thing. Yes, it is a challenging, life change, yeah? And I truly believe, like you've just said, how we perceive it in our minds, how we and this is why I'm always talking about embrace it as much as we can. Embrace it as much as we can. Because
Yes.
yes, it's a life change that's gonna happen. And we can navigate through it a lot smoother, particularly if we're not fighting against it, right?
Yes, yes. And it doesn't mean that there's not going to be challenges. Doesn't mean that there's not going to be hard days, right? Doesn't mean
Yeah,
there's not going to be days when you feel like this is really getting to me, right?
you're right.
But there is a difference. Remember, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day,
Mm,
and 90% of them are rumination. And we know that the subconscious mind is active 90 to 95% of the time.
yeah.
So if you have programmed it, and this is how it all works. This is how it all lines up. If you've programmed your mind to think about this thing negatively and you have very strong emotions around that, and 90 to 95% of the time, this is happening in your subconscious mind because it's been programmed now. A
Mm,
lot of the time, people don't realize it's only when you consciously want to do something that you realize the impact of what you've already conditioned yourself to do has an effect.
mm,
This is why a lot of people struggle, even outside of menopause. This is why a lot of people struggle with trying to get over and to do something different. And they go, why is it whenever I want to do this thing, I find it so hard?
yeah.
Because the programming that you've done is working against you when you want to do something different.
Hmm.
So imagine there's two versions of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just think of it this way. One part of you, there's two people, they've both trained at the same school, right? They've done jujitsu, right? They both
Yeah,
trained at the same school,
yeah.
had the same teacher.
Mm,
But this one trains 90 to 95% of the time, and this one trains 5 to 10% of the time. Both had the same training. Whenever they come together to fight, who's going to win?
yeah.
Always the one who's trained 90 to 95% of the time.
Absolutely.
And this is what's happened. If your subconscious mind, which you've programmed, has been programmed to think negatively,
Mm,
then 5 to 10% of the time you try to think positive about your menopause, about yourself, about your confidence, you're always going to lose.
yeah. You're in a battle with yourself, right? A losing battle.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Now, that's why I always tell people be intentional
absolutely.
with your thoughts. Be intentional with the words you say because you are literally programming yourself.
Mm, huh. Yeah. We really have to be mindful about what we speak into the universe, right?
Absolutely.
Once we say it,
And
it's there.
right now, and remember, I've only gone over one. I've got a lot of things to say on this area, but I just want
Okay.
to say this
I'm
before we
gonna
go
keep
on to the
quiet. Let me
next one,
think.
right?
Yeah.
The mind is like a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you and I and every single one of us are the gardener. Now, have you ever planted weeds in the garden?
No. Why would you plant
But
them?
have you ever seen weeds in your garden?
Absolutely. All the time.
Right, because the weeds are symbolic of negative thoughts. You don't need to do anything for those negative thoughts to come. But
Mm.
have you ever about you planted it, seen a lily or rose or anything else come?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you plant it, isn't it? You it
No,
will.
if you plant it, I said without you planting it.
Oh, without. Oh no, absolutely. It won't
Right.
come. Yeah.
Because that is symbolic of positive thoughts.
Mm.
Unless you plant them, they will not grow. But if you don't plant anything, negative weeds will grow. And
Yeah.
that's the negative thoughts. You don't have to work on it for negative thoughts to come. You don't have to. They will naturally grow.
Damn. Ezra, you're just throwing some strong analogies there, I'm telling you, some strong analogies. It's a good way to let people see things, the bigger picture of things. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
So, right, let me go on. The next one is self compassion. All right, we spoke about this earlier, but again, when it's coming to menopause, being gentle with yourself,
Mm,
recognizing those days when you are tired, recognize those days when the brain fog is too much, recognizing the days when, I just can't do it today. It's okay. It's not to give up, it's just to have a break. It's to not be too hard on yourself. It's to recognize that you are human and that as you are adapting and evolving, you work with it. So it's so important to have that self compassion, self acceptance, to recognize that today, in this moment, I can't do what I did yesterday, but tomorrow might be better. And it's so important because when you replace self criticism with self compassion, you empower you.
mm,
You have more strength, you have more energy, you have more clarity, you have
mm,
more self esteem, you have more self confidence, and
mm.
you have more emotional resilience.
Choose you, right? Choose you.
Yeah.
Listen, listen. Ezra's just smashing it out the park because, it is just, we talk about this all the time. And it's so refreshing to just hear because sometimes I do feel that maybe community members feel that I'm just going on and on and on and nagging. But it's so refreshing to hear it from a guest speaker in the community.
Mm.
We talk about this all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Another one
Wow.
is a growth mindset,
Yeah.
right? So the growth mindset is about the power of yet. So rather than saying I can't do it full stop, I can't do it yet.
Mm,
Yeah. And when we have a fixed mindset, that's where it's either you look at it as either you can or you can't do it.
yeah.
Right. But a growth mindset is recognizing that I can grow and evolve and get better at this.
Yeah.
So it's about embracing change
Hmm.
and staying curious about your evolving mind and body
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
seeing how you can learn and adapt and grow through this experience. So
Mm,
rather than seeing it as a death sentence, you're looking at it as, okay, what can I learn about myself through this? What can I do differently around this? How can I now thrive in this environment that I'm now in?
mm,
What can be 2.0, 3.0 for me now?
yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, you know, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. It's just even for myself, I will be taking away things. And speaking even more so, retraining that brain, reframing, like you said, you know.
Mm.
And I know you've spoken about some of the strategies and talking about navigating. Did you cover all the areas you wanted to cover on the
So
navigate?
I'll just touch on a couple of things quickly. So again, community support is very important.
Hmm.
So, people like you are great advocates and where people can find and get that support. And even the fact that you offer it to men as well,
Mm,
because, men are vicariously living through this experience as well.
yeah.
And sometimes are struggling to not know, their partner has changed and they don't know how to manage that. So
Yeah.
that's really important. I think self-reflection is key as well, right? So
Mm,
when you are going through a significant change like this with menopause, right, it offers a chance to reevaluate what your priorities are. You
true.
see, what happens is people, if you think about it, right, and I'm not making them to be equal, but it's a significant event just as having a baby is.
Mm,
Now, when someone has a baby, they don't go about their life exactly the same. They
mm-hmm.
reevaluate everything. Okay, what do I have to do now? Where's my priorities at? What am I going to put first? What am I going to let go of? I can't just be going out all the time. I need to, do you know what I mean? And so with menopause, it should be the same thing.
Yeah. Very true.
Reevaluate, like, what's now going to be the priorities in your life? What do you need to give up? What do you now to start need to start doing? How do you need to eat differently? How can your diet help you? Is there more
Absolutely.
exercise you need to do? What are the things you're going to do around your mind? If you're getting brain fog, there's brain training exercises.
Mhm.
It's reevaluate what your priorities are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going back to choose you again, right? Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just mindful of the time, Ezra. Do you know what? We gotta have you back on here again because this little time is not enough. And I mean, I feel that, it's 9 minutes, so 8 minutes before we end the live. And I think one other question I feel that I really need to ask you is
Mm.
what advice would you give to someone who feels like they've lost themselves and want to rebuild their confidence and motivation?
Okay. So acknowledge and accept, right? So recognize that it's normal to feel low during transitions and periods in your life, and
Absolutely.
start to look at what can you do, small steps. So we in my field we talk about SMART goals, which means
Yeah.
specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound.
Yeah.
Set those SMART goals. Do not try to climb Mount Everest tomorrow.
Mm,
Take small steps.
mhm,
Little by little, little builds a lot.
mhm.
Okay? Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't try and change everything tomorrow because you will fail miserably and then just be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And then the cycle repeats itself and it's like woeisme.com, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Self compassion reduces guilt and pressure, making it
Mm,
easier for you to move forward, right? So have self compassion.
yeah.
Okay? Said it, set small goals, take tiny steps, and you will get there over time. And it's
Yeah.
important to recognize, especially with a significant event like with menopause, that you need to rebuild yourself.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
need to recognize what are the small changes now that I need to do. Do
Yeah.
I need to now wait a bit longer before I respond to stuff? Do
Mm,
I need, what are the things that you need to do?
yeah.
And start to recognize them.
Yeah.
Prioritize self care, right? Even if you don't have menopause, you need to prioritize self care. Okay.
Absolutely.
Self care is what I call, the acronym that I use for it is self-fullness.
Mm,
Self-fullness is the cousin of mindfulness. And this is my definition. Self-fullness is to be fully present and aware of what your needs are in at any moment so
mhm,
that you can make sure you meet those needs so you are therefore able to give to anyone else whatever you need to give because you
mm.
cannot pour from an empty jug,
Yeah.
right? So self-care is key.
Yeah.
Diet, sleep, exercise are the three fundamentals. They're non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If you are not doing those things to what your body needs, whether you have menopause or not, your body will malfunction.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely.
Connect with others. You are not alone. I'm just going quick because I know you ain't got much time. Connect with others. Reach out to family or friends or support groups, people that you can connect with that won't judge you, that will listen to you, that you
Yeah.
can share and offload your stuff and know that it's a safe environment, that is psychologically safe for you to do so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Practice mindfulness is another one. Even if you just do 1 minute a day, it
Mm,
will actually help you to
yeah.
be present in the moment without judgment.
Yeah.
Because the past, which was meant to be a lesson and not a prison sentence, is where depression has its power. Anxiety is geared in the future, worrying about the future, which the research shows that up to 70% of the things that we worry about never actually come to pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be present is a gift. That's why we call it present. So
Mm,
mindfulness is so important,
yeah.
right? Moment by moment to be mindful without judgment. Reframing the negative thoughts, as I said before, is really important. But
Mm,
another thing that's just as important is to celebrate your progress.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Celebrate and acknowledge the small wins
Absolutely. The smallest
because
wins, right?
the smallest wins because you acknowledge the smallest errors you make.
Yeah.
And all I ask for you to be is just be consistent.
Yeah.
If you're going to acknowledge the smallest errors, acknowledge the smallest progress you make.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I encourage you to keep a trophy diary or a journal, whatever wording you want to call it. Because when you are down in the dumps
Mm,
and stinking thinking is taking place, and you have all of these inner critic and the
yeah.
imposter syndrome and all these things coming in, you need to have evidence of who you truly are because only the truth can counteract a lie. And if you
Mm,
keep a trophy diary, that is whenever you do things, small, medium, or large, and you've written it down and you're feeling down in the dumps and you go over that and you read 2 pages of I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, it easily counteracts that negative. Because remember what I said about the weeds? The
yeah.
weeds coming in, but if you start to plant the lilies and the roses and the pebbles, it overrides it.
Absolutely. No room for the weeds, right?
No room for the weeds. Uproot
Yeah.
them, stifle them, kill them.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Wow. You know what? I've seen some comments. Someone, Shahana said, if you're married, Ezra, your wife is a lucky woman.
Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
wife is a lucky woman. So, Ezra, do you know what? Oh my gosh, I didn't even get to talk. I just wanted to continue talking. We're going to have you back in the community again. We will arrange
Yes.
this. And if you will come back, we will absolutely
Of
welcome
course.
you.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
It has
Definitely.
been, it has been an evening. It's only an hour, but it's been an hour of positive and some amazing gems you've given. And I know I'm walking away with some, some really powerful information. And I know community members and anyone was watching on the For You page and in the community will be walking away and doing the same. Um, how can people get hold of you if they want to like follow you? Actually, if you follow you, they can follow you on TikTok, but anything else you want to
Absolutely.
end this life with?
Yeah. So obviously I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube as Ezra Voice of Reason. I have about 300 videos on my YouTube channel covering all different topics, so you can see some of my stuff there. I'm also on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
um, and on my website as well, which is in my bio for my TikTok. I have a whole range of different resources and toolkits. I have webinar recordings on different topics that you can, watch 1 hour, 2 hour webinars. I have some free resources you can download. I've also recently uploaded my discipline principle program,
yeah.
which is a program that I recently designed looking at discipline. So, if you are wanting to develop your discipline in any area,
Hmm.
this program will help you. So, just to quickly go over what discipline is. So, I've cracked the code for it. So, discipline equals clarity
Hmm.
plus purpose plus commitment minus distractions and emotional resistance.
Ah,
And so the program breaks that down. There's a 2 hour webinar, and then there's two different packages that you can buy. The
yeah.
foundation one gives you 10 different resources
Hmm.
that is backed with information, research, and toolkits. How I'm talking is how the toolkits are.
Yeah.
Or the premium one, you get an additional 12. So that's 22 toolkits. And the way that I've designed it is so that it breaks down everything you need so you can have the step by steps of how you can develop
Yeah.
discipline. So all of that is available on my website if you are
Fantastic.
interested.
Fantastic. Do you know what, Ezra? It's been a powerful evening, and we're definitely going to have you back in the community.
Definitely.
Again, I thank you, and I know all the community members, everyone on the live is thanking you also. I'm going to end the live. I'll end it two ways, as I always do. I always send a virtual hug to everyone, and the last thing I always say, you like Ezra mentioned earlier on, you are not alone. And if you do feel alone after the live has ended, please reach out to someone who will listen to you, who you trust, and who will absolutely understand you. Yeah? If not me, someone else. But Ezra, thank you very much. Have a
You're
blessed
welcome.
evening, everyone. And we're gonna get Ezra back. We haven't we're gonna put him, I'm telling you, we've captured him now. Definitely captured. But you have a lovely evening, everyone. I will see you all on Tuesday. Have a lovely evening.
Take care.
Bye, Ezra.
Bye.